Hello, my name is Lakshani Vikramasinghe and I'm a third year PhD student at the Department of Immunology and Pathology. And tonight I'm going to share with you my honours experience and hopefully give you a bit of insight into what the year is like and also provide you with some tips on choosing the best project for yourself. Okay, first a little bit about me. So I completed a Bachelor of Science at Monash University, majoring in Immunology and Physiology, my two absolute favourite subjects. And in 2016, I completed my honours year where I did a project that focusing on these two interests of mine in immunology and physiology, where I went on to assess the inflammatory link between a lung and eye disorder in preterm babies. And then the interesting questions that arose from this year actually led me to start my PhD in 2017, where I continued this work, but also had a particular focus on the lungs. And so I'm doing my PhD under the supervision of Associate Professor Margaret Hibbs and Dr. Evelyn Santikos. So what is honours? Well, it's predominantly a 9-month intensive project that for me was lab-based. And it's a really unique experience because often the projects that you get involved in are quite new, or at least there's an unexplored element to it, which means that you are essentially a lead investigator in this research, where you'll be involved in the design of the project. How will it look across the year? Will it need to be changed? I'm performing the experiments, of course, to generate data, and learning how to analyse these results and understanding what is the significance of my findings in the wider context of my project. And of course, learning how to present your results in the form of oral presentations and seminars, as well as in a final document called a thesis. A typical week in honours consists of supervisor laboratory meetings, giving your supervisor a bit of an update on how your project is going, and also getting a chance to hear about all the research being conducted in your own lab by the other PhD honours and postdocs. Doing experimental planning, optimizing your experiments to make sure they're better, and of course performing the experiments, researching the literature. So making sure you have a solid background knowledge on your project, understanding what is already known in this field, what are the gaps that I'm trying to address with my project, and even asking what do you hope will be the impact of your research, because it really is your study and your investigation. So you'll find that you'll be doing a lot of this initial literature search at the start of the year, and then you'll be doing more of the writing up of the results, analysing at the end. I can't emphasise just how rewarding honours really is, because it's a real taste of what it's like to be a scientific researcher in a real science setting. Because if you've done a lab-based project or even done a lab-based unit in undergraduate, you'll find that a lot of the experiments are already set up and the results expected. So it's only really a small part of what it's really like to be in medical research. Also, at the end of honours, you come out having acquired a variety of different skills, such as research skills, analytical, professional skills that you can apply across a variety of different disciplines. So whether you are interested in just going into research, master's or PhD, then that's fine, because you already have all these skills to do research. But if you're interested in entering the workforce, in graduate job positions, government, industry, then you're also well equipped to enter these fields and to do really well, because these employers know just how much commitment and dedication an honours year really is. So by doing honours, you can only really enhance your own profile. Okay, so choosing your project. I would recommend pick something you enjoy, and Lauren also alluded to this before. And so if you're not really sure how to even go about doing this, we'll take it right down to the basic level. What do you enjoy in undergraduate? For me, it was immunology and physiology. But if you don't have a specific major, then that's okay. I'm sure there are units that you found to be incredibly fascinating. And so just think about those, maybe make a list of that. And then from that, select key areas to focus on. Or another way of thinking about it is, what if you had to do it on this project, and hope you will, what would you want? What elements do you want to be in each of those projects? So for me, I definitely knew that I wanted there to be an immunology aspect and the disease to be related to the lungs. So from there, those formed my keywords that I used to do my project search. So in the handbook, I would go through all of the list of projects and look for the projects that had this immunology and the lung disease project. And then I created my list, and then once you do create your own list, I'd recommend that you meet each of the different labs, the supervisors, because you do spend a lot of time with these people. So you want to make sure that you and the lab complement each other nicely, and that when you are in these places, you have a supportive environment. The people around will help you answer any questions, and you feel comfortable to do the experiments, and they'll help you provide you with all the opportunities to grow as an individual and professionally. So the way that you can do this is actually speak to the people in the lab. So there's a whole bunch of current honours, PhD and postdocs here tonight. So go around and speak to them, ask them, what is it like to be in your lab? And because they have the best insight into what it's like, the daily life. And you can ask, what's expected of me as a PhD, as an honours student, thinking too far ahead, as an honours student in the lab. What are the expectations? How many hours do I have to do? What are the cool techniques that I will be learning? Because that's also going to be very relevant to the project that you do. There are several misconceptions about honours, so I'm going to debunk them tonight. The first one is you're going to be expected to know everything and do everything alone the first day you come in. And that's not true. Research at any level is inherently a team sport. We're always bouncing ideas off each other, and that's how we stimulate great discussion and create a collaborative environment. And when you're just starting out in research as an honours student, we know that you have very limited exposure to what it's like, and you need to have the foundational skills to be able to do the project that you are involved in. And so it's really important to make sure, again, that your lab is your ultimate support network. And so by choosing a great lab, you will be able to learn all these techniques. And often the skills and the experiments that you need to learn are highly specialized techniques. So you do need adequate training in order to be comfortable and be safe to be safe to use these experiments. And so once you are, you'll have naturally developed the confidence to be able to go out there and experiment independently. The second is that honours year equates to not having a life. And that's not true at all. If you enjoy doing sports, music, any other extracurricular activities, then you can still continue to do all of those things in honours as well. And I think it's a really great way to break up the day, the year, the week. I actually did volunteering on the weekends, and I found it was really nice because then I could just relax for a minute and take a break away from the intensive day that you will be having when you're performing the research. And third is that you have to have a perfect GPA in undergraduate to succeed in honours. That is like the biggest myth, and I can tell you right now that that is not true, because it's so different. The type of learning is different in that in undergraduate it's very textbook heavy, rote learning. You go to lectures, you try to remember the content so you can sit an exam. But in honours it's different. It's hands-on, it's more practical. And I really enjoyed this experience, and I preferred it because it was nice to be able to apply the science that I had learned in the form of experiments and see the outcomes of this. So yeah, so I definitely think that if you're not sure if you have a great GPA, it's okay, you don't need it to succeed. As long as you're open to learning new things, I think you'll be fine. You're probably wondering, well, how do I even know if research suits me? Will I be good at it? And how do I know if this is what I want to do long term? Well, I think sometimes you just have to try. It's really rare to find someone who has their entire career mapped out in front of them and have actually stuck to it. Even the greatest medical researchers didn't initially know that they wanted to go down this path. But what's common to all of us is our passion and curiosity about science, and in particular, the human body and how it responds to disease. And seeing as you're all here tonight, I suspect that you're just as curious. So I encourage you to nurture that, because that's what's going to get you far. And if you do decide to do honours, then that's what's going to lead you to get really good research. Here are my five key tips to succeed. Number one, be organised. So you know when each of the important deadlines come up, so you can be adequately prepared. Number two, communicate openly with your supervisors. Bring up any issues that you have early so you can resolve them and move on to the more important parts of your project. Write your methods early. You can really start writing anything early, but I think methods makes most sense, because in order to do an experiment, you need to know the protocol. So you might as well write it up as you go. And when you have it out of the way early on, then when it gets down to your results and discussions, then you can just focus on that later. Number four, learn how to use EndNote if you don't already know how to. EndNote will save your life, really, it really does. and emphasised it like in undergraduate. But if you know how to use it, it'll really make your references look neat in the correct style and format. And just make sure that your work looks really good. But EndNote doesn't like to be bombarded with 100 references in an hour, so don't do that, and learn how to actually use it. We have really great workshops at the start of honours that can help you learn how to use it. And finally, have courage. Don't be afraid of trying something and to try experiments just because you're afraid it might mess up your whole project. That's not going to happen. I mean, you make a mistake, you learn from it, you try again, right? So I don't see anything wrong with that. So if you follow these 5 key tips, then that will lead you to the first class honours that you truly deserve. So doing honours here, I think these points have already been well covered, but I do want to highlight the last 2 that being here, we have access to a diverse range of research seminars on site, and they're often free, and so it means that even if you are specialising in one area, it gives you the opportunity to see the research that's happening in other fields, and that's really a great way to open up your eyes to the most current research. And we do get a lot of international speakers coming over, scientists coming over to speak to us. And finally, we're really lucky to have the connection to Alfred Hospital, because here we really get to see how scientific discoveries made in the lab can be translated into clinical applications that have profound impact in the community. And I think that's a really special advantage of being here at the Alfred Research Alliance. So essentially, what honours at the Alfred Research Alliance can offer you is a feast of ideas. And all you have to do is grab a plate and help yourself. Because as excited as you are to be here, we're just as excited to meet you, hear your fresh ideas and perspectives, so we can, as a community, work together to continue to advance medical research together. Make sure you talk to a lot of people here tonight. I will also be around, so if you do have any questions, come see me as well. If you are looking for really a great project and something that will keep you entertained throughout the year, then come visit the Department of Immunology and Pathology Store. We're just around the corner in classroom 3. Come over. I wish you all the very best, and I hope to see you here next year. Thank you very much.